golfers, Dean with golfallyear.com, and today's video is going to be an Optishot review, but it's going to be a little different than my previous reviews. Last year I did a review on the Optishot, walking you through everything that it can do. This year I want to focus on how you can get the most out of the Optishot. What can you do to use the Optishot to improve? And so I want to talk about a few things with that. The Optishot has really helped me improve my game. I've hit over 10,000 shots on the Optishot, and so you will see that my game has truly improved. I've gone from a 15 handicap down to an 8 handicap, and I keep getting better. My irons are amazing right now. I'm hitting a lot of greens. So I want to tell you and kind of explain what I've done to get better at golf using the Optishot. All right, golfers, I'm going to be talking about 4 different ways to get the most out of the Optishot. I'm going to be talking about setting it up. I'm going to be talking about adjustments you need to make. I'm going to be talking about what you need to focus on, and then how to practice. And so with those four things, I think you can really get better at golf using the Optishot. So let's get right into it. All right, golfers. So in this video, I really want to talk about how I get the most out of my Optishot. You know, I've done a review of the Optishot overall. I'll kind of take you through some of the different things that I use to get the most out of my Optishot to really help me improve. And so the first thing I think you need to focus on is getting the thicker turf. And that thicker turf is just a better feel when you're hitting with the Optishot. I think it gives you a more accurate feel. I also believe that by using the thicker turf, you're going to save your sensors, protect your sensors from getting broken. I've broken 2 of them in the course of having the Optishot. And so it's very important that you protect those. And so the thicker turf does that. I'll put the link to the thicker turf down in the description down below. So if you want to get that, I highly recommend that. Second thing in terms of setup is you really need to use real balls. I know that you can use foam balls and you can use just swing without a foam ball, and that's the cool thing about the Optishot is you can use it to do those things. But I think you'll get the most out of your Optishot if you are hitting real balls into an impact screen. And so I also have another video of my setup. If you have any questions about it, please comment down below and I'll get back to you and help you out with trying to get your Optishot set up that way. The third thing in terms of setup is you really need to calibrate your clubs. And so first place that you want to start with is you'll click on the play and practice. You can manage your players. This is a good starting spot to kind of get everything set up. Edit, click on edit, and then you can put in your username and things like that. The thing that you'll want to do is change your tee box depending on what you want to do. I like to use a par 3 course, which I'll talk about later. So I may switch the tee boxes so they're all par 3 courses. It doesn't change anything on the practice range. And then you want to put your shot type. How is your ball flight? Is it normal? Is it a little bit higher? I hit a lower shot, so I put it to the lower setting. And then you can also change your club set, which I'll show you also in a little bit. So I put in my own clubs, tailor-made set. And so I'll just save that. And then we'll go back. And then we'll go to practice. And I want to take you to the range and show you how to calibrate your clubs. I have a whole video on that. Again, I'll put a link maybe down there, or I'll put my YouTube channel that has all the videos on there for you. So if you want to calibrate your clubs, I highly recommend it in your setup. And so here's some things that you can do with the Optishot. First thing is you'll want to set up and edit your clubs. And in this section, you can put each of your clubs and put exactly how far you hit it or the average distance that you hit it. You can put in your loft, which I highly recommend, and things like that. You can even put in the offset. But what I have read is that if you calibrate your clubs, the offset won't matter. And we'll talk about the speed and distance adjustments a little later. So you can go through each of your clubs and do that for each of your clubs, and so you can really get and see your club set and put it and tailor it to what you actually hit. But then you can go down here, and this is very important, is to calibrate. What it'll ask you to do, it's very easy to do. Again, I have a video down below, put the link, is you line up your club. Even though it shows a driver, you do this with your irons also. You can do it with the irons. But what you'll want to do is you'll want for each one, you'll want to make sure your club face is square, and then you're going to take short little swings, okay, short little swings back and forth. And you'll see that when it registers, it'll actually show here, and you'll do it 5 times so that it knows what a square club face looks for you, okay? And then you'll do that where it'll be 10% open, okay? So the club face will be 10% open and then 10% closed, okay? And you'll do those swings, so 15 different short little swings. You're not taking a full swing. And that's how you calibrate. Once you get your calibration done, now you're in good position to get the most out of your Optishot. Now the sensors will track your club, and you'll get good stats that you can use for improvement. So that's very important for setup. Make sure you get thicker turf, use real balls, and then calibrate your clubs. I think that's very important. Okay, so setting up the Optishot is really easy. All you have to do, you can see that I put the Optishot down on my garage floor. I actually have it glued down so that it doesn't move, which I highly recommend. You can see that I have the thicker turf here. You can see that what I've done is I just plug in the USB cord there to the Optishot. And then I connect that USB cord. Here's a USB cord going right to my computer. Put it into the computer there. I download the software, put the software right on the Optishot or on the computer, and then click on it. It will then take you to that screen right there. As you can see here, once you have done that and have everything set up, you'll see a green light. You'll see every other red light lit up. So every other of the sensors will be lit up. You have 2 rows of sensors there that will track your shot. And so really easy to set up. Then what I do is I take and I will hook it up to my projector. I hook the USB cord, or HDMI cord, I should say, into the projector from the computer. Okay, and there you have it. Very easy set. All right, so next, to get the most out of the Optishot, I really believe that you need to make a couple of adjustments. One, I found that by going in and adjusting your clubs, so let's start with, okay, I'm going to start with my driver here. So I'm going to go up to the top here, put in the 1 wood, okay, and make these adjustments. I really believe that first thing you want to put is your average distance, and then you want to change the speed adjustment and the distance adjustment to 110%. I have found that that is the best and most accurate way to get the most out of the Optishot. You're going to get better distance. I think it's going to feel more like really being on the course to do that. And so what I'll do is I'll go through and I'll just change each of these to 10%. I think the Optishot kind of lowers the distance a little bit. It's not as accurate in terms of distance. I'm going to do another video using a swing caddy and really find out. But by adjusting it, I felt that to 110, I felt that it really gave me a better feel of my distance, a more accurate feel for my distance. And so I just go through and change all those. You kind of get the idea there. And then what another adjustment that I like to make is I like to adjust the ball flight here. Okay, you can see that these arrows will show you kind of the ball flight. Because it only tracks, the Optishot only tracks the club, it does not track the ball. And so it kind of guesstimates or calculates your ball flight. And so I like to put mine at a lower ball flight because that's what I feel my shot really is. So those are two main adjustments. Other adjustments that I like to do is I like to, if I'm putting and playing a round of golf, if I'm going to use the putter, I like to use only the back sensor. And so what I'll do is I'll place my putter in front of the back sensor and then go back across the back sensor. You really don't have to go across both of them. I think it's just much easier to get a better stroke, and it really does a good job of simulating the putt just by using the one sensor. It's just a better feel for me. That's one of the things that I really focus on. And then the other adjustment you have to be ready for is you have to be ready to take mulligans, especially if you're going to be playing rounds of golf. The Optishot, if you come in too steep with your club, it can mess with the accuracy. And so you'll see flights that take off and go huge hooks or huge distances with your driver. I've hit 300-yard shots with my driver because I came in too steep. And so if you do have a steep swing, you'll want to be ready to take mulligans. And so those are some key adjustments, making sure you change the swing and distance, the swing speed and distance adjustment to 110, making sure that you change your ball flight, putting, if you're going to putt it behind one sensor, and then make sure you're ready to take some mulligans. All right, so the third phase of getting the most out of the Optishot, I believe, is to focus on your irons. I don't hit my driver much with the Optishot. I just don't think it's as accurate as it is with the irons for some reason. I've got a lot out of just focusing on my irons. My iron play has been huge. There's been a huge improvement. I believe that that's the reason that my handicap has dropped so much, is because I did focus a lot on just hitting irons. And so that's number one, is just try to concentrate on your irons. The other thing is you'll want to focus on, I think that's very important to get the most out of the Optishot, is focus on a couple of key statistics that you find with the Optishot. The Optishot does a really good job, not with club speed, but with face angle and swing path. Those are the two that I really concentrate on, and this has helped me improve my shot. I don't slice anymore. This has been huge to just focus on those two. I also will focus a little bit on face contact and a little bit on tempo, but face angle and swing path are the two keys to really improving your game. I try to get an inside swing path, okay, an inside swing path with a face angle that is slightly open 2 degrees. That's kind of my ideal. That will give me a nice little draw. And so those are the two things that I really focus on. You can go down here and you can take a look at your swing statistics overall. They give you the current session. You can look at the last few weeks. You can look at all time, what they are. So let's click all time. You can see I don't hit the driver much, but you can get a lot of good information here. And so you try to really improve these type of things. And on average, I'm just a little too open with my driver. And so you will see that I tend to have a little bit of a slice, a little bit of a fade, I like to call it, with my driver, because this is slightly open, slightly inside, which is very good, and pretty good distance. And so if you go down and you can see some of the other things, if I went to my pitching wedge, you know, 173 shots just with the pitching wedge. I try to focus on my middle irons more, but the pitching wedge here, you can see that you can get some great information. You can also click on export, and you can export this stuff to a Excel sheet, and you can really kind of study your statistics. It'll have all your shots involved with the if you want to export. So all the shots, all the 173 shots or whatever with the pitching wedge you want, you can do that. And so that's a neat feature. And so if you are going to focus on just the face angle and swing path, I think that's a great way to start. And with your focus, you also want to kind of lower your expectations. You're not going to get, it's not going to change, you know, just overnight. And so by focusing on just a couple of things, I think it really gets the most out of the Optishot, and you're going to be in for the most improvement. Okay, so now that you have set it up, your Optishot with the thicker turf and all that stuff, you made your adjustments, you've got your focus, you're going to concentrate on irons, things like that. The next thing is to start your practice. And so with the Optishot, some cool things you can do. I'll show you here. As I move this, I'll move this over here. You can see that over here, you can click on different flags, and that's going to take you to different distances. Okay, so whatever distance you want to hit at. So click on one of those flags. You also can change your distance by clicking on here. So I can change and go to any distance I want, any shot I want. I can even go into the bunker. As you can see here, I'm in the bunker. If I wanted to practice my putting, I can go practice my putting. So you have a lot of different options to choose from on the practice range. And so you can also do this, okay, with tracers, without tracers, etc. So those are some cool things you can do. But to get the most here, I really think you got to concentrate over here. This is the target zones. Okay, if you click on the circles here, it will set your targets so that you will be able to keep track of how many shots you get into certain distances or from the pin. So this would be 15 feet. And so you can see how many shots you get within 15 feet of the pin. You can go and change this to a fairway one if you want to use your driver and hit your driver and try to keep it inside the fairway. You can see these lines here will help you with that. And so those are some cool things to do to help you with your practice sessions. The other thing that I highly recommend is using the par 3 courses. And so I'm going to go back and show you how to do that. Okay, what we'll want to do, see, is head back to the main screen here. And when we get to the main screen, we want to click on play and practice. Okay, and then we want to go to practice. Okay, and now a cool way to practice is you can click on any of these courses. Okay, so let's say I choose Tory Black. I can go and practice on that course, and I can choose any hole I'd like. Okay, I can click anywhere on that hole to take me to a spot where I want to practice from. So this is kind of a neat deal here. Watch how it goes. You can get a flyby, and then if you click up here, okay, you can change the hole that you practice on. So this would be, let's say, hole 4 I want to go to. Okay, I can go to hole 4 and practice on this hole. It's going to give me a flyby, but then I can click on this, and it'll actually take me to anywhere on that hole to practice from. So I can practice any shot I want on that hole. Okay, so here, let me change it to a new hole and go to a par 3 here. Torrey Pine. And there it is. I can hit from the tee, or I can even try different shots from around the green. If I click over here, I can try little chip shots, whatever shot you want on whatever course you want. And so now I can go over here. I can change the course. Let's say I want to go to Palm Desert. Okay, click on that, go to course. And now I'm on Palm Desert, and then I can choose any hole I want to practice from there. So that's a great way to practice your game, practice your irons. You can practice different shots you can hit out of the rough, etc. You can try different things. Great way to do it with that. Now, one of the things that I want to make sure you have selected real ball if you're using a real ball or foam ball. That is something that I didn't mention earlier, but that'll make sure that you are getting the most accurate stuff with the Optishot. So pretty cool way to do it. Now, another thing that I want to show you, and the other way that I practice is I will go to the main menu. I'll click play and practice. Okay. And then what I'll do is I'll manage my player, and I'll go up to my player, I'll edit, click edit, and then I'll change my tees to par 3 tees. This is pretty cool. And so what I'll do is I'll play just par 3 courses. So then, whoops, I want to go back. I want to actually play. Okay, I'll play a game. I can choose my course. Okay, you can see all the courses. They also have a bunch of different course you can buy. There's a bunch of courses you can buy. Those are the premium courses. I think they're about 30 bucks a piece. But let's say I just want to go, I don't know what course. Let's go to Cog's Corner here. I can play a full round. I can change that to front 9, back 9. I can customize it. If I'm playing with other people, I can put other people in here. You can see that I have the Optishot there, so I can actually play 2 balls or 3 balls. That's a great way to practice also, so you can try different shots. So just add people, okay, to it. Now, once I click play, you'll see that each time I go to a hole and they load the course, okay, they're loading Cog's Corner here, you will see that it'll take me to a distance that is a par 3 distance, so I can use all my irons. Okay, so here we go. You can see it'll do a little flyby. Once I just click on it, boom, it puts me at 118 yards. So now I'm 118 yards. I can play it like a par 3. I can putt it out. You can also change the settings on this. If I go over here, I can change the settings. All kinds of different things that you can do with the settings. You can play with it. You can get rid of the flyby. You can change your game rules. You can use mulligans. You cannot use mulligans. You can auto putt within a set distance, so it'll automatically give you a number of putts. You can do a gimme distance. Okay, you can actually enter your own. If you hit on the green, you can put in your own of what you think you would do, or you can actually putt out. And like I mentioned earlier, use the one sensor to do it. You can do all those things to adjust and make it a good way to practice your irons. And so this is kind of a competitive way, kind of keep track of your scores. I try to keep track of all my par 3 scores so I know how I'm doing and seeing my improvement. So those are a few ways to practice and get the most out of the Optishot. It's pretty neat way to do things. And I think you can improve if you use the Optishot. One of the big things about having all this stuff and having an Optishot is you're going to get out and hit balls. And I think that's a #1 thing, is you're going to be hitting more golf balls. You're going to be focused on different statistics and things like that. So really kind of excited about the Optishot and how it's helped me improve. So I hope you find it the same as I did. All right, golfers, so there you have my Optishot review for 2020. I focused on ways that you can get the most out of the Optishot in this video. So if you're a new user to Optishot, hopefully you got some ideas on what you can do with the Optishot. If you already have an Optishot, hopefully this helps you get some ideas on what you can do to get the most out of the Optishot. And so by focusing on those things and concentrating on the different ideas I presented in the video, I know that I have gotten better doing those things. So hopefully you can too. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel. Always doing videos on how to get better at golf using golf simulators and training aids and things like that. I'm really on a path to try to break 80 and I'm getting close. And the Optishot has been a key to that. So let me know what you think. I'll put the links to the thicker turf and some of the other videos that I think might help you down below in the description. Please comment and ask any questions that you have on the Optishot. Be glad to answer them. And let's keep getting better and have some fun playing golf.